Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Rush holding it down with the Labudo Network. Right now, promote my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey, need armed guards or unarmed guards, call up my business line and I'll line it up. The bigger the contract, the more money we make together, you heard? Today, I got a special guest. He go by the name of Rdiss.MC. He's an incredible content creator. He does live
Yeah.
reactions on underground artists that's on the come up. He got a dope channel. I got his channel information within the description. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel and tap in. Yo, artist, man, let the people know who you are, give them the MO, and let them know what you about. You heard?
All right, man. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a man of many hats, bro. You go to my channel, you're gonna find crazy content all over the place. One day I could be doing one thing. Now, that's yo. Shout out to Noah. What up, Noah? Oh, damn, I can't. I'm over here acting like I'm on the live. I was about to hit my like my horns and shit. My bad, my bad, my bad. As y'all can see, man, I'm just a free spirit. That's what I do. That's what I do. I'm here, yo. I'm here just having fun. I'm having fun with it. That's what I do. Go check me out on IG. Probably won't respond. Well, actually, now I will because I've been there lately. So yeah, man. So you can hit me up on IG. Right now, that's the only other platform I use, but I don't post content. I repost shit though. I repost like a motherfucker, yeah. I've been reposting like a motherfucker. But for the most part, you catch me on it says ROM Squad, it says ROM, but that just stands for Rdiss.MC. And funny thing about that, right? To get to that, so I could present to your viewers and everybody. Like everybody's like, every time I look up ROM, something else comes up. Because I didn't realize using that acronym, using it because I just used the beginning of everything. It was ROM. Rdiss spelled RDISS. Well, yeah, you got it right here. So so I did the ROM, not realizing CDR ROM, whatever ROM. Yeah, I didn't realize I didn't put that together. So there's a guy that always pops up. He got a very large channel. So he pops up instead of me. But yeah, I was gonna try to switch it back, but then they said I lose my check mark, so I didn't. Yo, Rom, I had to show up to support my boy. That's what's up. Oh, so you ended up getting the thing on the what is it called, the page.
The community post.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm being interviewed. I'm kind of nervous, man.
Nah, you should, yo, man, you
Kind
shouldn't
of
be nervous,
nervous,
man.
man.
You shouldn't
Kind
be
of
nervous,
nervous,
man.
man. Your name ringing bells out there. Everybody know you. They're like, yo, when you get on there, be careful. Because yo, Shorty be sometimes be slick with it. You know, he be trying to like throw curveballs. I'm like, what? I'm like, so he gonna try, yeah. I'm like, yo, man, I gotta watch out what they said. That's what they said out in the streets. I gotta be careful, bro, because you have all the you do the hard questions. Look at how I'm stumbling through this one. I don't even know how to answer it. There's the first one. See, I'm catching you.
Word, man. Now, by looking at your channel, right? Because I'm tapped into your joint. I noticed
Yeah.
that you're really into hip hop, man. And my first question for you is, as a fan of hip hop, what are your thoughts on drill music?
I think it's cool. I think I think in hip hop, bro, here's the thing. I wouldn't, I'm gonna be real and hey yo, this might upset some people. I don't consider drill music hip hop. I would say it's a subgenre of hip hop. And let me just say it's a subgenre of rap. Don't get me wrong. Like, yo, motherfuckers from the towns be. Can I swear on this or no? Can I swear on your channel? Or do you want me to keep the
Yeah, yeah,
swears to a
yeah,
limit?
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, I
cool.
don't
Go
want to
ahead.
get your live clap. You heard? I don't want to get your live clap.
No,
So,
no, no, no.
some,
You good? You good?
so I would say that drill music, I wouldn't put it in the same category as hip hop, but I would put it in the category of a subgenre from hip hop. You know what I mean? You heard? So, my bad. Go ahead. I didn't know you was on. I was on mute, but that like I
No,
feel
no, no,
like
no. You wasn't on mute, but keep cooking.
I feel like drill music. You are getting some people real life stories because obviously, look at them. I mean, look what happened to Flock. Look what happened to K Flock. He really was living that shit. He really got busy.
Right now, yeah, for the audience that's watching, they might not know who K Flock is, but he's a well established. Well, I wouldn't say well established, but he's a
Yeah,
well
no, he
known drill artist within New York City.
and established and established. He signed a 6 figure, I think it is. I think he was well established. What happened was, as soon as he got signed, he ended up, and this is foul. This is foul shit. But he was out there wilding. My issue with the drill music, but then again, when I was a shorty, I I I don't know how kids could grow up with this environment. Back when you took an ass whooping back in my day, it might have been a talk or a whisper for a couple of, you know what I'm saying? If you took an ass whooping or you handed out an ass whooping, you heard that through hearsay. Nowadays, everybody, all right, grab my other joint. They be like this. This is like my old ass phone that I have. It's another number I got. But yeah, everybody got their cameras out. So you can't live that down because it gets posted. So you got to go out there and validate yourself. Where before it just be a talk. Oh, I heard you got your ass whipped. Oh, I heard you whooped his ass. You just never know. But now it's on camera for everybody to say, nah, you got your fucking ass whipped. You can't even try to hide the shit. You can't even sit there and try to be like, nah, I really didn't get my ass whipped. Nah, it was kind of even. Yo, bro, you got the brake speed off. You heard? Like, yo, I seen you, yo. You had, everything. Yo, they ran everything. You had no pockets left. You was in your boxes. You know what I'm saying? Now it's there in 4K. So I get as an older person, I get what people could sit there and say and be ignorant to why y'all saying your crimes on the thing? Why y'all inviting the ops, this, that, and the third? But most of us, come on, let's be real. If we got clowned on the, we would be doing something. Either, I mean, come on, you see a lot of old heads. I ain't an internet. I'm not an ignorant bro. So what the fuck you doing on the internet? Why are you giving this message? I ain't one of them internet. You know what I mean? I ain't one of them. But yet, what the fuck you doing on the internet then? The same head that'll be like, I ain't like these little motherfuckers. I ain't no internet cat.
Yo, I mean, you know the saying, man. Like, if you hear somebody scream "World Star," man, you better fight for your life, man. You better fight.
I remember that.
With your life depending on it, man, because it's gonna be on footage. Word is born. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was first. That was the first shit with the internet too, with the World Star shit. Right? That was internet shit, right? The World Star shit?
Yeah. It's like
that's what I'm saying. It was the first one people were posting all the crazy videos to, right? Before it became IG, before it became any social media, it was World Star where they went to. It was World Star that got now World Star be taking posts from people and they be copywriting this shit too. That's what's wild to me with World Star. They'll take your posts, bro, and they'll put World Star on that joint, right? And then when you go to repost it or go to fucking do anything on it, if you want to use like some content they got that you can't find, the original creator, this shit can get clapped. It's like, you took that shit from me. They had a post they took from me and did that shit. I had a post, bro. I found it. It wasn't my original shit. But then they copyrighted me on this shit. I'm like, bro, I had that shit up before you. How you
that's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's good to know. That's crazy. That's good to know, man. Yeah.
So anytime you're gonna post some crazy stuff like that, make sure World Star don't got it, because they be copywriting some shit. Because it said it on there. It tells you who you get a copyright from, and World Star do that. They'll take it when they put something on it. They'll think they're the only ones with it. I don't know. I don't know if they think they're the only ones with it. I don't know how they get they post, whatever. I don't know how they get it, because I never posted on World Star. I wasn't a dude that whipped out the camera, bro. I never was that dude. Like, if I see something going on, I never took out my camera. I never did that. Even when I was on the internet, when I first started, I didn't think about doing that. And I realized, damn, actually, these shits could actually save you from some shit. I still got to try to remember, take out your camera. But I still forget that shit. whether it's, I'm outside or whatever, I just be forgetting it. But where the fuck was I? What was I talking about?
Yo, we was talking about drill music. What when it comes to drill music, do you think it's like does it set off a tone to cause young YNs to get into like crazy situations like spinning the block, putting hands on people, and etc. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Can I be real with you? That that would have happened with or without drill music. How many people you see on the internet crashing out every day, and they have nothing to do with drill music? Talking about they gonna come to your crib, they gonna, yeah. They do that all the time. They do it in post if they don't agree with you. And then if it's another creator that you happen to say something about, or it has nothing to do with, or if you're speaking on a situation that happened on their show and you just reporting on it, and you don't have clever words, or you don't know how to speak, like, and you speak on it ill, that creator might come at you be like, yo, this suck over here, this, that. I see it all the time. That's all in my feeds, bro. It's the internet, the algorithm pushes that to you because most people like that. Most people like controversy. I know this on battle raps. If it's a battle, I'll get more views than anything else. If it's just a regular song, unless it's one of them songs that, took off and it's crazy, people ain't checking for that. People ain't check, but everybody usually gets on it anyway. But like, if it has anything to do with, conflict, people are clicking on it, and the algorithm knows that. Conflict sells.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Sometimes the algorithm will push out certain content that gets a similar momentum as people that watch certain violent content, and it feeds the algorithm to force the content to get pushed out like that. I mean, so yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's just crazy, man. Like, pretty much like if you, I mean, get into like physical altercations on videos, it's a high probability that's going to go viral. I mean,
yeah. Because if you really think about it, bro, if you're just scrolling and it says, "Yo, Brody beat the brakes off dude," a lot of times that makes you stop, bro. Even me, I'm guilty of it sometimes. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm searching for content, but I'm over here watching this shit. And then all of a sudden you click on that once, and then a bunch of fight videos come up in your feed, and it's like, bro, that shit ain't good for your mental. I ain't gonna hold you. That shit ain't good for your mental. So there's no block button for it neither. The algorithm's gonna feed you whatever you're watching, and then they're gonna try to feed you other stuff you might like. But for the most part, you click on any confrontational thing, even if it's just people arguing, you're gonna get a bunch of that. That's what you're gonna get. If you ever notice, you click on one thing, it might be inspirational posts. Like I was looking at an inspirational post the other day, and I wish I got more of those because some of them shits be enlightened. You know what I'm saying? Some of them shits wake you up a little bit. You know what I mean? So I clicked on one, and all of a sudden I got flooded with mad inspirational. I'm like, bro, this ain't what I'm looking for, yo. I only clicked on one. Just sometimes it be like that. Yeah, you know what I mean?
yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean, man. And yo, I kind of feel where you're coming from, man. Like, because some people will say that drill music do spike up negative activity within the neighborhoods and all that. But you're just saying that, hey, people just gonna do what they're gonna do, regardless of the drill music. And I kind of agree with that. But I do think there is a level of influence from
There's an
drill music.
influence. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
but
because it's a
and
part
it's
of, I guess, the culture now. So the
yeah,
smoking the dead homies and spinning the
I
block,
get it.
like that's a part of the culture. You know what I mean?
But remove that element. Remove that element. Just suppose drill music never did what it do. Suppose that, right? Do you mean to tell me with everything that's going on, and if somebody, all right, if you get, and that's another thing. I feel like people, they be taking up their phones, they be putting up their phones, right? You think as men, we all have egos, bro, and and we never want to be told, yo, we got punked or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 53 and I still gotta hold myself from that shit. I still gotta like remind myself, bro, You ain't a young kid. What the fuck you gonna be doing out here rolling around with him and whatever? What if something happens and then you end up in jail? What if something happens and you end up dead? But still, I'm still a man at the end of the day. So when people are holding up phones and shit gets posted all the time, what's the first? Nobody goes to interact or try to break shit up no more. The first thing they do is grab for their phone. So with or without drill music, people are gonna feel like they gotta step to the plate. They're like, I ain't gonna let him punk me because it's gonna be all over the internet now. Because you can't go and gather everybody's phones. So with or without drill music, what I'm saying is, yes, it does play a part in, the negative. It definitely does. But with everything else, like with or without, you just separate drill music from it. Just take it out of the element. It's still gonna be what it is. Now, does drill music got people disrespecting people's dads? That is the big influence I could take away from drill music. It got people disrespecting people's dads. That's wild. Because when I was a shorty and I was affiliated, I'm not doing all of the, I'm not gonna say with who, but when I was affiliated and I was doing things, you know what I'm saying, and I was, when that person was gone, we didn't go and kick over you know what I'm saying, the memorial. We didn't do none of that. Yo, Fulano's gone, or this one gone. We don't got to speak on it anymore, because at the end of the day, that's how it was. Like, you don't speak on that no more. You know what I mean? If you with the bros, you really didn't even speak on it. Oh yeah. Oh, you wouldn't even say the name. You'd be like, yeah, remember what happened to Shorty over there? Yeah, that's it. And that's it. If you speak with the bros, but you didn't really talk about it like that, or disrespect, or, do anything like that. It wasn't like that. Once that dude is out of the picture, he's out of the picture. Or once that person's out of the picture, they out the picture. You ain't disrespecting, you ain't talking shit on them. You ain't kicking over tombstones, none of that. They no longer here, bro. They not here no more. But it became something where you got to prove. I don't know what that proves. I don't get what that proves. Like, what does that do? Like, what does that do? That right there is what causes a lot of these people to go back and forth, is the disrespect towards the dads. When you disrespected someone's dads, and it's understandable too. Suppose me and you was muddies. We grew up in the sandbox, you know what I'm saying? And, something happened to one of me or you, and then somebody's online talking crazy on your name or my name, it's going to make you feel away, because you know me personally. You know my trials, my tribulations, my scars, my pain. You know everything that everybody else sees. You know what's behind that wall. Because when we go out on the street, we ain't the same person as we are when we in the crib. When we go out on the street as men, we are not the same people. I don't care who you are not the same person, because there's a certain awareness you have to have when you're outside. There's a certain wall you have to put up. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. You have to be vigilant. It's totally different when you're at home and you relax. I'm not the same what my wife is. I'll be talking to you. I'm soft. I'm gentle. You feel me? I don't talk to her like, yeah, I don't talk to her like that. I don't talk to my kids like that neither. Well, maybe my kids sometimes, but they be gangster. They gangster. That's why sometimes I gotta, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes my kids get me out of myself. But nah, but for real, so there's that war there. So everybody's different when they go outside. We all put on a face. But I feel like that's what drill implemented into the street culture and into, the culture in general, is that you got to be gangster all the time, or you got to be disrespecting someone's dads, or you're not valid. And that's wild, because I feel like that is spread like a cancer. That has become a cancer, because I never heard no shit in the way they be violating people's, the deceased. They be violating the deceased. Like Fulio, it was only a matter of time before that happened.
Listen. No. You're cooking, man. Nah. Yeah, man. Like, when it comes to that, man, disrespecting the deceased to that degree, yeah, it'll transpire to something much worse than one little situation. Might get your crib shot up or whatever, but that transitions to even more. Like, it's gotten to the point where whenever they have funeral services, I mean, and the ops will come through, they may, you know what I mean, get the dumping on at the funeral too. So it's like a never ending situation when it comes to that.
That spinning on things did take place back in the day, you heard? It did take place back in the day. I don't know what, like there was a couple of incidents like that. I remember the West Coast was real crazy with it. I remember that. I seen a couple of incidents where they was like, yeah, man, like they was spinning on funerals and shit. But that was in documentaries and shit. I ain't never been out there, so I don't know if it's real or not. But yeah, they showed it though. They showed it. But now it's like it's just we see it more. We see that more often because of the what is this? Rush Porter. What up, Rush? Is it wait, is it oh that's you, man. Famous. I told you I forget your name, bro. I won't forget your face, but I'll forget your name. That's what's wild. That's bug what. All right, let me see. Salute. I'm over here trying to read your shit at the same time. My ADHD, but at the end of the day, that's why I could say that the drill music is, is doing damage. This craziness where you desecrating people's, you know what I'm saying, memorials, grave sites, and just making songs is wild because at the end of the day, yo, hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. A lot of these kids, they didn't come in the best upbringing. Now, I feel like some suburban cats love our lifestyle for some reason. They love that shit, like stuff that they don't see all the time or do. And there be some like crazy ass rich dudes. Like I seen some shit about some rich kid. I forgot what it was. It was not too long ago. A rich dude. I think it was in the West
Yeah, he
Coast.
caught a body. He caught a body,
Yeah.
and this kid is like valedictorian at his high school. He's a star
But he was a
athlete in the
demon.
school.
He was a
Yeah,
demon. He was on demon time. I was like, yo, this is dumb wild. Like, what the fuck? And so I would say, like, it does play a role because social media is gonna play a role in what you consume. Like, whatever you consume, the energy you ingest is the energy you project. You heard? So if you sitting there listening to negative shit all the time, you're gonna be a negative fucking person, you heard? If you live with a negative person and all you hear is negativity, you're gonna be fucking pessimistic. You're gonna go everywhere with a fucking chip on your shoulder. So like I said, it all go to me. I feel like it goes back to social media because with or without the drill music, because without social media, would these drill rappers be able to do what they doing? No, except for on their music, right? And then on their music, you don't know if it's valid or not. Come on, you know how many '90s rappers talking about how they was about to spin and they this, that, and the third, but they ain't never popped nothing. They beat you up. They might have gotten a couple of fights, but we ain't never seen it. We just heard about it in reports. You didn't see that shit. You wasn't seeing them getting active. Like Flock. Flock was fucking out of his mind. He was over there spinning on IG Live. A shorty gonna grow up looking at that shit, and he gonna do what? He gonna want to emulate that. So
yeah,
yes, there is an influence, but like I said, it ties to social media. You heard?
yeah, and I think that's kind of like odd to me when because you pretty much telling on yourself when you record yourself doing those type of activities online, and you know from the era we come from, we pretty much keep everything under wraps, and it's not something that we really expound on because it's a strong probability when you do that you can, get incarcerated for that.
Yeah, but like I said, I feel like if if social media wasn't all right, so remember this, right? You remember beef tapes? You remember the beef? You know what I'm saying? You remember the
Which one?
DVD era?
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
All right. You remember how many motherfuckers is out there like, yeah, I got this, I got that. I mean, even Royce. Royce, a sensible dude, right? Royce the 5'9". When he was beefing with D12 and they was going back and forth, D12 wasn't brandishing they shits. But at first, until Royce was out there showing his shit. I be always with this, he had the vest on, and then he showed, you know what I'm saying? He's showing he's brandishing his burner. So What I'm trying to say is, people like the idea of our era not getting out of ourselves and doing that. But like I said, at the end of the day, we human, we men, and we have that boldness, so we ain't gonna look like clowns. And there's a lot that look like clowns in our era. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by clowns is because it's like when we speak on these children acting like we wasn't young at 1.2 and we wasn't out of our fucking minds and doing dumb shit. We did do dumb shit. We kept shit. A lot of people did keep shit on the hush, but there was also people that did that too. So with social media being such a polarizing thing and we all turn on all the time, like in New York, it's been the calmest it's been. It's been a crazy year for the Bronx, but look, if you go to the 80s, the 90s, there was 1,000. I don't know if I can say the word because of YouTube. I don't want to get your live demonetized if you're monetizing. But there was a lot of, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of them shits. There was a lot of them shits. Over 1,000 a year. 1,000 a year. Now I think it's down to like 400 or whatever. It's like down to 400. That's less than half, bro. I think there was one year it was almost up to 2,000. That got completely erased. Like, look up the statistics. I forgot what it was, but there was over 1,000. Bro, that was when the mob was there. There was a lot going on, and they were unsolved. I think
right,
is dead, though. Yeah.
My co-host, he wrote, I think drill is dead now, but its effects still here, but it's not as popular as it was some years ago. Well, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, for drill music, the effects, it would depend on what he means by the effects. If he means by the effects of disrespect, then I would definitely say that shit's here and strong. But I wouldn't blame the violence on just drill music. This has been going on in the hood since how long? Like I said, I could pull up years of, hold on, you know what? I can even check it out while I'm here with you. Oh no, because I might end up switching out if I do it. Do I switch out when I do this? Tell me if I'm still on camera. Am I still on camera? I switched out. I can't hear you. You on mute. You on mute.
My bad. I just realized it. You can actually pull it up on your end. There's like a middle box. The box on the middle, it's a plus sign.
We won't even do that. We won't even do that for flow state. For the flow state. Thank you. I appreciate it though. Thanks.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say it was like the 90s, the 80s, late 80s, early 90s when the crack epidemic was going on. And bro, there was over 1,000 bodies, bro, getting dropped every year in the towns, every year. Now it's not like that, bro. It's not like that. So can we say that drill music is influencing these? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does certain cases, but that drill shit still would have happened regardless, because remember, these kids are all in gangs. Everybody they represent in a set. They just happen to start rapping. It's just like when the Bloods, the Crips started rapping.
You know what, that I'm glad you said that. As far as like gang culture that's migrated to to the East Coast or whatever, like, what's your thoughts on gang culture?
That's not. Oh, okay, my bad.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
That's not true. That gang, Bloods and Crips, gang culture's been in New York. I'm tired of that I'm tired of motherfuckers saying it. With the bandana shit, all of that. That Bloods and Crips, not gang culture. Gang culture been here. Gang culture been here. Black Spades. I can name so many of them. Bro, they used to wear patches, bro.
Okay, here's my thing, right? Here's my thing.
I'm tired of people saying that, though.
No. I know what you mean. Yes.
Been in the town.
There was a percentage of people claiming sets from back then, as far as like, the Decepticons and all that, and Bloods and Crips or whatever.
It even
But
goes back before that.
yeah, but it started getting real popular. I say in 2000, it started getting real popular in the East Coast. Know what I mean?
What was getting popular though? What do you mean by it
Like
was getting
as
popular?
far as
Not gang
like,
culture, because there was gang. There's bang gangs. Yo, gangs been in New York, bro. Gangs been
yeah,
in
I
New York
know.
before the West Coast.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like, it became a popular thing in the 2000. You know what I mean? Not
Okay,
everybody was claiming a set like that. Yeah, you had
I'm all
a few
about
heads
stop.
claiming
No,
something.
they was though. They was back in the fucking bro. When they first started America, before there was a West Coast, before the British took over the West Coast and the Europeans from yo. That shit was over here, when they took over New England, when they took over New York. You never seen that gangs in New York? That's a real life shit. The rabbits and all of that shit. Those were gangs, bro. They control the rackets. Those were gangs, mobs. That's real. Gangs come from gangsters, gangs. You know what I'm saying? The gang, like back in the day, baby, they called them gangs. Those were real gangs. So that's why I say people gotta watch what they say gangs, because gang. The word gang came from that. It came from gangsters, a bunch of people that formed together that was always, we call ourselves the Fuzzy fucking Bears, or that's still a gang. A gang is a group of people. That's all it is. So gang culture, like I said, Bloods and Crip culture is different. Yes. That's what I just said, though. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's what I was just saying. So that's why we got to be specific. I said Bloods and Crips, that shit, wearing flags, wasn't a thing over here. Now it's a thing over here. The flag shit, that culture, yes, I could say that. That's West Coast, because we wasn't wearing that. We wasn't doing that. We would have patches, not flags. There was patches. That's what was on them jean jackets. They cut off the jean. They took it after biker type joints. You know what I'm saying? It was after bikers, but all of that shit's been here. Like, so that's why I try to say, what do you mean by gang culture? That's why I say we got to be specific when we talk, because gangs just ain't in the West Coast, and gang culture hasn't just been the West Coast. And this ain't no hate to the West Coast. This ain't no clowning the West Coast. I'm just saying we just gotta. What do you mean by that? So we could be specific and say, bro, gangs been here forever. It's not something that was
Yeah,
taken from the West Coast.
yeah. I guess as far as I should have been more specific, but yeah, as far as like that, the colors and certain sets that
Yeah, like
some people
Bloods
were
and Crips.
playing.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's kind of like a big thing, and people that
now
come
it's a big
from
thing. Yeah,
people come from our era, they will kind of like disagree on that. You know what I mean? Because I had Bingham Smurf, you know what I mean, on here, and he also feels the same way on how I expounded on it. But as far as like that the colors, the flags, and all that, yeah, that is a fairly new
yeah. The
thing
flag
for
shit.
them.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
flag shit started because I would say I remember back in the '90s. Now, I'm old now. Back in the '90s, I remember seeing Bloods. That was the first time I seen Bloods. And I'm like, there's Bloods up here? I didn't know much about them, because I just remember seeing them from the West Coast. I'm like, how was there Bloods out here? And how was, you know what I'm saying? Did y'all get sanctioned or whatever? And I don't know how it happened. I don't care, because I never was either side. No disrespect to either side, because at that time is when I realized, bro, this life isn't it. When I'm sitting there on the top bunk, climbing up, you know what I'm saying, to get to my bunk, and I'm staring at a fucking wall that's falling apart, you know what I'm saying, all mildew and shit, and I'm fucking looking at that shit and praying to God, like, yo, whatever it takes, bro, I'm done. This isn't the life I want. And then you realize that culture is just because gangs were born out of a necessity to protect your area. That's how the original gang started. You know what I'm saying? If you think about Latin Kings up in Illinois. You know what I'm saying? That's where they started. Was over there, and they started as a group that they wouldn't even let you in. This is how the original Latin Kings were. They would not let you in. I could speak on this. They'll let you in if you graduated and you're 18 years old. You had to either graduate or become 18 years old because they figured that you wasn't man enough to make that decision. And it was to protect from, you know what I'm saying? Because yeah, them folks, they didn't like black and brown folks. You know what I mean? So that's how that started, and then it turned into a like everything else, man. You know, at first it starts off as something maybe innocent or for protection, but then you realize the strength you got, and then you start diving into the other shit. Let me see. New York has gangs, but was more known for drug crews and mafia. But it always had gangs, bro. It always had gangs. And I get what he's saying, but what would you call the black spades? What would you call all these crews? What would you call them if they weren't gangs? If they were fighting with you just for the fact that you had something on because of the neighborhood you lived in or whatever, we was fighting. That's why African Bambaataa, what he did, no matter how much people want to smear his name, he brought that shit together, bro. There was a lot, people were dying, getting stabbed, bro. People was dying, they was getting stabbed, hitting their head with bottles. They was poking you up, and motherfuckers was pulling out that joint. You know what I'm saying? And people was dying. People was dying. So what is that? What is that considered? Now, I wouldn't consider any of them a crew. You had to pay into the you had to pay dues. You had to pay dues. You know what I'm saying? What crew do you hang out with that you got to pay dues to? Name one. If me and you is crew, I got to pay you?
Well, I mean, as far as like what Fame was saying, he's pretty much expounded on the Supreme Team and etc. And yeah, they were drug crews that was
different
making
though.
a
That's
profit of
different.
yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean,
that I would say is different.
right? I
But go
mean,
ahead.
but it's when you have the in comparison with drug crews and gang culture, yeah, I guess when you working with a certain crew like premium them, like it's not there's no dues to really be paid. Like you're pretty much working with them and you're more of a partner. But the kind of activities that they put in, quote unquote, putting in pain, it's the similar thing. What the gangs would do too as well. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact because if you think about it, you know what I'm saying. A lot of the gangs got it from got that a lot of that structure from the way that gangsters move too. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying. Like there's always a hierarchy, and that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? There's always there's a I don't know. Every gang got something different that they call it. You know what I mean? Everybody, you know what I'm saying? You got your soldiers. Then you got your VPs, you know what I'm saying? You got your council. It just depends on the way you look at it. But when we talk about gangs, I just want to make sure that I know what we're talking about because when we talk about gangs, we can't just look at it like, yeah, I get it. They call it that in the West Coast. But like I said, if you flying something, if there's something that labels you, this is what I am until whatever. And I'm putting in pain because of this or this. Stay tuned. We got the Stay Tuned squad, you heard? Fuck it. We all got to wear Stay Tuned. You know what I'm saying? You know what we repping. We representing Stay Tuned. That would be considered a gang. That'd be considered a gang. If we dying just for this name right here, State, that's all you dying for. That would be considered a gang. That's what you dying for. That's what you go out for. And everybody in that crew is your brother. Then if there's an initiation process, it's a gang. If you got to be initiated into some criminal activity, it's a gang. I don't give a fuck what you say. Drug crews don't even do that. Drug crews don't initiate you. You don't take no initiation to get into a drug crew. Well, maybe some. Maybe some. You do got to put in work in order to show your value. But what I'm saying is not everybody goes through that process. If it's just me and you starting to hustle, right? And we knocking off a few packs and then we get our stacks up, right? And then we grow, right? You know what I'm saying? We got our money up. We leveled up. You know what I'm saying? We finally there. We finally there that we could break off, you know what I'm saying, some runners. Just that we ain't gotta be on the block, me and you. What are we gonna do? We're gonna recruit some people. And what are we gonna do? We're gonna recruit, you know what I'm saying, Joey from fucking, over there that always be, yo, you wanna make some real paper? We know you out here every day. We know what you're doing. You wanna make some real paper? We test them with, you know what I'm saying? We give them a little something, something. And then what do? We see how he knocked that off. And we see, we see how he works. We got people we looking. We peeping his style. We peeping the way he is. You know what I'm saying? And them jump outs. Them jump outs is gonna come in regardless, bro. Especially in the summer. That's the one thing we know in the East Coast. I don't know about if it's everywhere, but I know this. Those that stay in the game and got greedy and start, because in the wintertime, you stack. In the summertime, you relax. Because guess what? In the summertime, that's when they kicking doors in. That's when they could, that's when they doing raids. They kicking in people's doors. That's when the jump outs come. When it heats up, as soon as you start seeing that snow melt, that's when, you chill. You stack in the winter, so the summertime you can relax. And that's a fact. That's a fact. But people get greedy and they still, go ahead, do your thing.
Your boy Noah, he wrote something. But New York had the Black Spades, Trinitarios, Latin Kings, and MS-13. I didn't know MS-13
Yeah,
had.
MS-13.
Yeah.
Yeah, MS-13 did. Okay, so he's right on the MS-13. So they came over from the West Coast because they were getting the Latin Kings were violating a lot of the Mexican, Venezuelan immigrants that were coming. The Latin Kings would violate them, like they really was violating them. And so they started sending over from the West Coast. I think it was a West Coast dude. I forgot his name. And yeah, they killed some Latin Kings, bro. They did. Like they ran up on some Latin Kings. They were. That was early 90s. I don't know if they survived. Like I said, I ain't out like that, and I don't care. I'm not talking about anything that's happening today. I'm ignorant. I'm just saying that. That's none of my fucking business.
No, that's cool. No, we were just expounding on that on a little bit. But I want to
And
transition to this next question.
yeah.
Yo, what led you to create content the way you do now? Like, what inspires you to do that?
All right. So what led me to creating content is I've always been a grumpy old head. And I'm being serious. I always been a grumpy old head, and I didn't care about new trends, new waves, no nothing. And then I realized to myself, I'm like, yo, it's this way of thinking it's gonna leave you behind. And I started seeing videos. And you know what's bugged out? Because I ended up buying for the first. I'm being dead serious. The first computer I ever had, the first internet I ever had, was back in 2002. Everybody had the internet, everybody had that, but I was a grumpy old head. Like I remember when the internet came out and it was on a disc. It was on a disc. I had it then, but I just go on and I talk shit to people all day because it would have like dash dash zero mart, like whatever your name was. Whenever you signed up for the account, that's basically what your name would be. And I went on it was on the phone. It'd go through the phone, and I'm talking about the dial phones. You know what I'm saying? Or when you
Right, right,
yeah,
right, right.
yeah, the house
Yeah.
phones. Nobody got them no more. I don't even think anybody got a house phone anymore. To be real with you.
Nah. I mean, like, like the technology has advanced a lot throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? But I know
So
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
I was so against it and so ignorant to it. I'm like, yo, I never grew up with one. You know what I'm saying? I always, I had a rough upbringing, so we didn't have money like that. So I said, there's something I don't need, bro. It's just dumb shit on there. I didn't realize that that would be the new thing. Even though I seen it progressing, I was there before it even happened. You know what I'm saying? Before it became where you could get a, you know, a handle and then people started communicating on it. I didn't see the genius in that because I still was stuck in my old frame of thinking back then. I'm saying I was thinking like a outside. You know what I'm saying? Everything is outside. Whatever you want is out there. It's not in here. It's not in your crib. It's out there. If you want to make it happen, you got to go out there to make it happen. You got to go talk to people. You got to hit the concrete. You got to be outside with emotions going on. That's the way I looked at it, and I'm like, yo, there ain't no money here. This is a distraction, which it is a distraction, but not thinking. In my hustle mind state, I was stuck in myself of the old way of thinking, not realizing, bro, I knew about it, but I didn't jump on, wait a minute, but this is another way to gain eyes. But I didn't want to be inside. I want to be outside. So my mind wouldn't click. And then finally, I started seeing music videos, YouTube. Didn't even realize that all the shit people were doing, they were posting it themselves. And then when Obama won, I was on thing because I bought a laptop because I was going to make music. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do my music thing, you know what I mean? And I'm going to do my music thing. Not realizing, bro, you don't just get any fucking laptop and you going to make music. That's what I was ignorant to, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, I see these in-home studios, so I grabbed the laptop. I grabbed all this equipment, but I didn't know what the fuck to do with it. And I had no place to go, even though I'm on YouTube watching videos of music, not realizing it was Vivo or something like that. Not realizing it was all connected. And then Obama had one. And then I went on YouTube, and then on my thing, it said, yo, you can upload videos. My first video was, I was upset with Obama taking that bailout shit. I was excited that he won, but I was pissed that he did the bailout. I'm like, bro, if we're going to bail these people out, motherfuckers should stay in their homes. How you going to bail these people out and allow these people? So I was so passionate about politics, but I was so mad about that because I felt like he was just doing whatever to get along. And I uploaded a video and it said, oh, you get paid. So that was the only video I did, left it there. Years later, 10 years later is when YouTube was really big. In the pandemic, before the pandemic, I was starting to really get into YouTube because I was going to do workout videos. You know what I'm saying? I was going to do a health and fitness channel because I started watching YouTube more and understanding what it was. Look how late I was. I used to watch it not realizing the power of it. I didn't understand it until, because I had what is it called? I had the chirp. I had all of that. We had analog screens. We didn't have the screens. And then finally screens started coming out where you could get internet on your joint, but that shit would take like 5 minutes just for the page to upload. But I thought that was pretty cool. But then out of nowhere, when the Androids came out, that's a wrap. It started like downloading mad quick. Not mad quick, but it downloaded a lot quicker. It took a minute instead of fucking 10 minutes. And then you started seeing all of this stuff come up, and then that's when I started getting on it. And because I was in my health and fitness shit, I was seeing influencers that was doing that, and I thought it was a good thing. So I was going to start my channel doing that, but the pandemic hit. As soon as the pandemic hit, I said, well, I can't go to the gym. So when the pandemic hit, I'm like, what am I going to do? I set everything up. I got some of the equipment. You know, I went crazy and spent fucking $5 on fucking laptop that my ex fucking broke, and I had to buy another one. I spent so much money on equipment. And I was like, I spent all this money. I was making good money too because, you know, I became a truck driver. So I was like, yo, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invest in this shit. And I said, you know what? Let me just get it popping. And I was watching videos on how to set up everything. And I set up everything. And I said, fuck it. And I started watching reactions. And I said, well, this looks like it's not that bad. It's not that hard. I could, you know, just start now just to start getting some screen time. And that's what put me into that. Like, I was supposed to start before the pandemic. And then the pandemic hit. and there was no, like, after everything got set up, like, because I got set up like almost towards the end of pandemic, because like I'm a procrastinator when it comes to buying equipment. Even though I had the money for it, I was procrastinating. I had to do all of my research. I was researching everything on every laptop. What's the dopest laptop? This, that, and the third. So I ended up getting, going into an Apple computer, and then I just realized, yo, bro, what am I gonna do now? The pandemic's here. I can't do nothing. So then I started watching all this other content because I didn't consume content, but I was home now. I never consumed content like that. I never looked up. I wasn't really doing that. But I really wasn't consuming content other than health and fitness type of content. But I didn't realize there was all this other content. Like I said, I was stuck in my own bubble, bro. All this other stuff I would see, but it's just like it was like blank to me. Not realizing, bro, you could be actually doing anything you fucking want. You can get on here. I just start watching people that are just talking nonsense, bro. People just acting goofy. I seen some dude, bro. He was just standing there with his fucking underwear over his head. Turn around, had a shit stain. And that shit was viral. I'm like, whoa. And this is back when YouTube let anything fly, bro. There was people being beheaded, this, that, and the third on YouTube. Nah, you didn't know that? You found all of that shit on YouTube before they started monetizing?
I didn't know that. I didn't start, doing content like during the pandemic. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah. So I remember my daughter, she's like, oh yeah, watch this video. And she went to YouTube, and I'm like, yo, they play that on there? And I guess it was a dude being, over there in the cartels. It was taking off his head. The good days of YouTube. That's my shorty. That right there is my shorty. Yeah, that's my shorty. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what got me into YouTube. I said, bro, I could do this shit. All I do is fucking talk. I can't shut the fuck up. And maybe I don't make no sense, but I see people doing this stupid, dumb shit I be doing. So I said, I'm gonna get up there. I don't give a fuck and just be myself. And yes, I'm crazy. Yes, I'm, a lot of people can't deal with me, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, man, I ain't even had my fucking coffee yet. You fucking driving me crazy, bro. It's too early in the morning for you to be this happy. It's too early in the morning for you to be this fucking hyper. You driving me fucking nuts. But I say, yo, let me just put my energy into that. Cause like I talk to myself, bro. I sit there and talk to myself. I swear to God. If there's nobody to talk to, I'll be talking. My girl be like, my shitty be like, yo, babe, who you talking? And she got used to it. When she hears me talking and knows nobody downstairs, she know I'm talking to myself. And I'm not really talking to myself. I'm just talking like I could just see a video and I just start talking and commenting on it. And all of that shit used to happen. So I used to watch videos and do that. And I'm like, I could be saying all of this shit on camera. Just how I feel on camera. Watch a video and say how I feel. And that's what got me started. I don't know if that was a long-winded answer. My bad.
So pretty much you did you started off doing a lot of reactions in your channel as well.
Well, yeah, that's okay. So when I started, that's why the name Rdiss.MC, because the original handle of the channel, at first it was a fitness channel, but back then I could change the name because there was no penalty. I wasn't losing a check mark or nothing. So I changed it from what I had it. I forgot what it was called. You know what I'm saying? It was so long ago. And then I said, well, I'm reacting to, I'm going to start doing hip hop because I'm like, yo, fuck it. I know, this is something that I'm very familiar with. So I say, yo, growing up in the towns, seeing it happen, I figured I could get my experiences with, and then introduce shit from back in the day to today and the way things change. And that's why I called it Rdiss.MC, because a lot of SoundCloud rappers was coming out. And I said, the question is in the name. Is he an artist? Is he an MC? What is he? You know what I'm saying? Because you got artists, right? You got people that are like the complete package. They be rapping, they be doing instruments, they produce. You know what I'm saying? I would consider that an artist, like an artist. Like they everything. But then you got your MCs. All they do is rap. All they want is a pen and a pad, get in the booth, get their shit, and they done. And they out. They don't give a fuck about all the extra shit. All right, just give me a pen and a pad. I'm gonna go say what I say, talk my shit, and I'm out. Y'all deal with that. So that's why I got the Rdiss.MC from. It was supposed to be the question. I remember my intro. My intro was that motherfucking sauce. That was my intro. But I started realizing when I got monetized, because that was my intro. That was within the first couple of seconds of the thing that I was getting hit with. Against whatever, against YouTube regulations or whatever. Because I was saying that was my that motherfucker. I'm like, oh shit, okay, so I had to stop that. It was kind of corny anyway, but that's the way I felt at the time. So, bro, you gotta interrupt
now,
me if you want to talk, because I'll just blab.
no, it's cool. No, perfect, man. You cooking, bro. Now my next question for you is, okay, I noticed that you did a reaction on KSO's diss track on Nino
Yeah.
Man, and personally, I give that diss track an A+. What would you grade that diss track towards Nino Man from the artist called KSO?
Oh, that shit was fire. I ain't gonna hold you, yo. That dude, like, obviously art is subjective. You know what I'm saying? You might look at a Mona Lisa and be like, yeah, that's boring to me. And I might look at it and say, yo, that shit is fire. You don't see the eccentrics to it. You don't see all of this. Everything I see in it, you might not be able to see in it. But I will tell you that right there is the consensus of everybody that watched it. People's like, yo, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm Team Jada. This shit is fire. I feel like he has a complete package because he could switch his sounds. I've seen some of his stuff, and yo, homeboy fire, bro. He got the complete package. He gonna be somebody that's gonna make it. And whether people that are watching don't think that he's lyrically, because I've seen some of the comments, and it's not about that. It's about the fact that he's got the complete package. He's got the complete package. And I feel, to me, he gets straight to the point, and you don't gotta be a fucking 100% lyricist, lyrical, miracle, spiritual, but he's technically sound. I think he gets to the point, and yo, he did his fucking thing. To me, that shit was fire. It was valid. I think he's valid. And the fact that he come from Nebraska, I didn't know where he was from.
Yo, when you told me he was from Nebraska, that because I would assume he was from upstate, because technically
Yeah,
KSO is signed to 38 Special
yeah.
label or whatever. But yeah, I would assume that he was from upstate New York, but he's from Nebraska. You know what I
I
mean?
thought
And he killed
he
that record.
he killed that record. He killed both of them, and I feel I feel like he's a talent, an untapped talent, and maybe that's where 38 Special might be special. And it's no funny shit. I'm saying special because he has an A&R ear. Because he's all right. So this guy has probably been putting out music, but nobody's seen it. And the reason why I know nobody's seen it because he's not this artist that's well known, at least over here. I just happened to come across it because that was in my algorithm, and I've been looking up shit, to cover, and nobody had put me onto it. I just found it and I heard it. And I said, because it was just a little snippet. I said, this seems interesting. So then I realized who he was dissing. I'm like, well, since I covered them, it wouldn't be fair if I didn't cover him. And then it said it. I found it on Gutter, Gutter TV or something like that. I think he covers a lot of upstate shit. Cause I noticed that's on his channel. Most of the shit that's on his channel was upstate shit. So it came across my timeline because I had seen Nino Man, Class Murder, you know what I'm saying? Actually, he did cover the Nino Man joint, but it's mostly upstate shit. So when I seen that, I peeped it, and yo, I was like, yo, I don't care how many subscribers he got. I'm like, shit, if I could, if the shit's fire, it's fire. If it's not, it's not. I only heard a couple seconds of it because I wanted to react to it and break it down. Well, come to find out, motherfuckers got short attention spans because they wasn't trying to hear me talk. They just want to see me do this. That shit fire. I'm like, who, who, Who wants to watch that? To me, that shit is weird.
Yo, what would you what grade would you give Nino Man's diss track? Like, do you
Nino
think?
Man?
Yeah,
Oh,
do
Nino
you?
Man, fire. Nino Man, I don't give a fuck. Hugh Hef, fire. Yeah, man, I ain't taking none away from them. Nah, Nino Man, fire. Hugh Hef is fire. Chunk Bizza. A lot of people got mixed reactions on Chunk Bizza, but yo, he could rap though. He could rap. I ain't gonna hold you. I heard him rap. He could rap. I heard him rap on Shape 4-5. Some people didn't like it. I said I'm fucking with it. I'm jacking it. I'm jacking it. But Nino Man, the only thing I don't like right now is the fact that everything is a fucking minute long, 2 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? And that's why I feel like Class put belt to ass. He did a whole fucking 5-minute diss track, this and all of them. Class Murder, he got busy. He got busy. You heard? He got busy. He said, he said, what did he say? I got the, normally I don't remember shit like this because like I said, yo, I could be going to the same street, walking past the same street sign every day, and I don't even know what street it is. My shorty had to tell me, bro, I've been living out here for all this time, bro, born, raised, yo, she like, that's right there. I'm not going to say streets because I don't want people to know where I live at. She's like, you walk that every day, bro. You do your jog. You jog right there. You walk the dog right there every fucking day. I'm like, what? What? And she just moved out here. She knows everywhere. But that's just me. So anyways, for me to remember this, that's my point. That's what I'm getting to. I get it. It's long with it. But for me to remember this, is crazy because I don't remember much bars. Like Biggie was my favorite rapper and I could barely recite most of his bars. But he said, I got the antidote. I'm going to kill him with Spanish jokes. That's the only part I remember. And then he started going in. He said, I knocked the sofrito out your burrito. I'm like, bro, those are two different things, bro. There's no sofrito and burrito. But yo, I'm here for it because I get it. I'm going to kill him with Spanish jokes. He said it at the beginning. I got the antidote. He didn't say, I'm going to kill you with Puerto Rican jokes. Or whatever. No, he said, I'm going to kill you with Spanish jokes. And that's what he did. It was just all Spanish shit. It didn't matter what part or wherever. And he was going at Trust Mula. And Trust Mula is Puerto Rican. He has nothing to do with burritos. Puerto Ricans don't eat burritos. They don't eat that. It's a total different culture. So, but they do put sofrito in their stuff. So it was funny. I was like, oh, shit. And then people's like, yo, what nationality are you? What ethnicity are you? Why are you laughing at that? I don't know. I can't tell what you is. And I'm like, it don't matter, bro. This shit is funny. It don't matter. I don't care if I was fucking Mexican. I don't care if I was Puerto Rican. This shit was funny. That don't make, yo, the only one thing Trust Mula did say, me being from two different backgrounds,
right, but let the people know that, you know what I mean, you are Puerto Rican and you know what I mean, you're culturally sound. So yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, just so no Puerto Ricans or black folk get it. Yeah, okay, so yeah, my mother's brown and my father's black, right? So at the end of the day, I know both sides. So Trust Mula did say something that did make sense because I probably would have got offended on that. He's like, imagine if I would have came out and had some jokes about you. Imagine I got racial with you. I'm like, yo, he got a point, bro. Everybody would have got sensitive about that shit. Everybody would have got, yo, come on, man. Alphabets would have been coming out. The F, yeah. It would have been an issue. But since he did it, it was fine. And because it was, but he was right. But I didn't give a fuck. To me, I didn't see it like that. But when he said that, it clicked. I'm like, you right. Motherfuckers would be feeling some type of way if you would have started hitting them with. He's like, but I'm not going to do that.
Now, do you think the battle between 38 Express and Jadakiss was something that the culture needed? And if so, give me your opinion on that.
Nah, I don't feel like it's something that the culture needed because they didn't battle. There was no battle. There wasn't nothing there.
But well, like in the sense of 38 Express taking a shot at Kiss and the ripple effect from that caused KSO to drop a diss track. Nino Man and etc. Like, do you think? Because I feel like yo that kind of like was a positive ripple effect because we got to hear you know different MCs that have skills that take their craft seriously.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm glad you cut me off because I was about to say that, and then it just looked like I'm just over there talking over you. I was just about to say that in the sense of that we didn't need it because they didn't really battle. But what we did end up getting out of it, we ended up getting put on to, or people out there ended up getting put on to new MCs that they never heard of. And I remember that being the criticism when I started covering it was, ain't nobody want to hear these side motherfuckers. I'm like, well, obviously people do because they watching. I haven't gotten this much people just coming in out the blue for what I do for nothing. I like every time I cover music, it usually does well, but I don't want to be shackled to that. But in this case, I figured it was a moment in time. It was a timestamp in history people will remember. Because it's kind of like a civil war if you really think about it. Yeah, I get it. It's not New York City. Yes, that's the fact. That's a fact. It's not New York City, but it's New York. At the end of the day, it's New York. Let's be real. When Benny was coming out, everybody from the towns was jacking Benny. Conway, people's jacking Come on, man. They collab with every artist in the towns. That's where they can. Yo, yeah. Let's keep it a stat. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a whole fact. Wasn't nobody bringing back that sound. That's a fact. Nobody was bringing back that sound.
Yeah, definitely, like yeah. And and it's doing
Davies,
pretty. Mm-hmm. No, keep cooking.
Yeah, except for Davies, a couple of other cats, but most of or you was a legend or old head. You know what I'm saying? Older spokesman. Let me not even say old head like that because I am an old head. But what I'm saying is, unless you was an older spokesman, you wasn't putting it down. Those are the only people putting it down for the towns. You heard? That's it. We didn't have nobody but our OGs. Now I'm older than most of them. But I'm being serious. I'm older than most of them. I think I'm older than Jada. I'm older than Jim.
Nah, you guys are probably about the same age.
No, I heard Jada. I think Jada's 51.
Really?
49, something like that.
I would have thought he was much older.
Nah, I think because I remember when this happened, I looked it up. So I know I'm older than Jada. I'm being serious. I looked it up. I'm like, damn, I'm older than these motherfuckers. This is wild. Because I remember Jada when he was he wasn't that much of a difference of age, but I remember saying, because he was young. When they signed the locks, they was young, they was kids. And people don't understand how hard it was to stick out back then because everybody wanted to be a rapper. But let me get back to my point so that I don't veer off because I do this a lot and I don't want to be like all over the place. I would kind of want to keep your shit flowing. But I think it was I think it was a good look, and I think it's a timestamp in time that people are gonna forget and remember. All right, so yeah, I'm older than him. I'm older than Jada. So people are going to look back at this time and say it was a necessity. And everybody keeps saying, yo, wait till Benny get in the booth. Wait till they not getting in the booth. They got close ties to people in the towns. They doing collabs. Benny just did something with Davies. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting involved in this. This has nothing to do with them. They staying neutral. Now, are they always going to rep? Are they going to rep up north? Of course they are. They're going to rep that. And they should. They should be proud of that. Because they get busy up there too. Like people talking that, they cow tippers or they, what they got, whatever. It's not okay. Maybe it not might be the city like over here, but in New York State, they got the murder capitals, bro, because you got to remember, you got 9 million people in one area because it's the whole New York City that they count. And over there, that's 200,000 people, 100,000 people. And they get busy. I think it's Syracuse. Maybe Syracuse is in there. I'm not sure, but I know that Buffalo, Maybe
Yeah, I mean that's
Albany.
where Stove God is from. He's from Syracuse.
Well,
He's
see, there
also
you go,
from
bro.
upstate too.
Like,
Know what I mean?
yeah, everybody get busy. Like, yo, they got mad talent up there, bro. They do got talent. And I'm gonna be real with you. They hanging in there. Whichever way you want to say it is, upstate's hanging in there, bro. With class murder, I can't really, but I still gotta include him because he's down with that squad and he representing that squad. He representing trust, so it don't fucking matter. But if we just strictly stick to NY, you know what I'm saying? NY State. Let's just say NYS. Not NYC, just NY. New York. Just New York as an entirety. Yo, both got busy. I ain't gonna hold you. Both got busy. Now don't get me wrong. If some legends come in, then it'll sway things. Do I think 38 Special got what it takes to go against Kiss? Nah, that's I don't care how dope his verse was on Sunday School. Kiss is just he. If you get him into that mode, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I seen what he did. Yo, 50 was like the biggest fucking bully. There was nobody like Fifth, and Fifth had everybody behind him, and it was a consensus. We all know, yo, Jada put belt to ass with that checkmate. Jada put belt to ass.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, Jada Kiss is definitely a living legend, man. You know, he put out a
Now,
lot of quality
yeah,
music, and he's pretty nice with the pen game when it comes to battling as well, too. I mean,
see, the thing with Jada that you have to worry about in a battle isn't just the lyrics. He's a wordsmith. Let me see. The state of New York, a population 8.5 million people. Blah, 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 blah. Nah, bro, that's not the state. The city alone got like unless I'm bugging. Did I say 9 million? I think it is though. I think there's a lot, bro. Like maybe I'm bugging. Maybe nah. I think it is. Yo, you said there's something we could look it up. Just do me that favor if we could look it up.
yeah. What exactly you want me to look up? I'll pull it up.
What's the population in New York City?
All right, give me like 2 seconds.
It's not 9 million. I think it's a million, maybe. Nah, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I'm overshooting. It's like three or something. I know it's in the millions, bro. I know it just in the city alone. That's just the city, right?
Yeah. That's just the city, and it says 8.58
All right. So
million.
okay, I overshot. All right. 9 million, whatever. But okay, my bad. Yeah, but yeah, I was pretty close, right? Damn. I started second guessing myself.
Yeah. Real close. Yeah.
Yeah, it was real close. So yeah, just in the city alone, you heard. But you got to remember, these are large cities. You know what I'm saying? It's a metropolis that there's buildings and buildings and buildings. That's why when people talk about culture and this and that, bro, none of y'all, when it comes to New York culture, is a total different animal than anywhere else, bro. Like we just all mixed up. We crammed into the same buildings. We basically roommates, bro. I could hear everything that's going on over there and over there. You know what I'm saying? All we got is these things, you know what I'm saying? Especially in the P's, you heard? Like that's how it is, bro. I could smell you could smell every fucking nationality of cooking. Or not even national ethnicity, whatever. You can smell black eyed peas on, you know what I'm saying? From one door to the next, you smell rice and beans, you smell jerk chicken, you smell everything, you know what I'm saying? You smell all that. It's like you want to stop into each crib. And then
Yeah, I
sometimes
mean,
when
yeah,
you bring
New
it like
York
that,
is like a huge melting pot, man. So it's rich with so much different ethnic backgrounds, and that's what makes New York real incredible. I mean,
yeah, you know how many times, bro, like shit, before the first came and shit like that, like so my mom Dukes when she got out, she had to prove that she could sustain us. Even though we lived in the projects, she had to prove that she could sustain us after she got out. So she had to get a job. You know what I'm saying? Because she got out, and then she had to prove to child whatever whatever it was that because we was transferring from a thing because she was away for 5 years. My father ended up catching a life bid, and she got 5 years. So when she got out, they put these things in place. Child, a DCY for whatever, a social worker. I think it's cool because we was in the foster system because both of our parents was locked up. We had to do that. So my mother had to get a job. So she was like one of the only ones in the building that would work. Not the only one. You know what I'm saying? But she was one of them. And so she wasn't relying on the first. So she get a paycheck every week. And I remember like in the buildings, bro, like how many people would come to her because she was like they call her Doña Carmen or da da da, because that was her name. So they'd be like, that's what they call her, and everybody like the tacatos, the junkies, all of that shit would come up to her, yo, you got anything sweet to eat or whatever. Like I said, it was just such a melting pot. There was all different types of people that would come to the crib because my mom, you know what I'm saying? She was making some money and she'd always get a paycheck and they knew that. And she was like real humble with her money and she liked to help her neighbors. Like my mom, God bless her. God bless her. God bless her. Cause she's a good woman, bro. Like it didn't matter who you was, bro. We used to take people's kids. We used to have sleepovers all the time because a lot of the moms was all fucked up. And since my mom had learned her lesson, my mom was never on drugs or nothing like that. She just got put away for, just falling in love with the wrong guy, or let me say a guy that yeah, she just it was her love. You know what I'm saying? She did stupid stuff for love, and she got caught up, and she ended up getting 5 on that. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't doing. She was committing a crime, but it wasn't hurting nobody. She just was, and yeah, I don't want to get too deep into that, but so she was out there. She was out there and she just took care of everybody. So when she'd go to work, I go to my boy Tyrone's crib. You heard? So Tyrone, he would live next door, and his mom, she was disabled for something. I forgot what it was, but she was disabled. She was like it wasn't a permanent disability, but it was something like she couldn't. She needed a wheelchair, but she would watch us all the time. I remember I go over there, eat all types of food that they had, you know what I'm saying? And then he come to my crib, because my mom, her being Puerto Rican, she cooked rice and beans. His mother, being a black woman, she would cook that soul food. You know what I'm saying? And I was loving what she was cooking. And then what the fuck was his name, bro? I like when Rom tells stories about it. Thanks, man. So shout out to you, man. Noah a good dude, bro. He a good dude. Um, but shout out to Noah, man. Um, but anyways, when like so we all got experiences. Like yo, Tyrone, me and him was tight. You know what I mean? Like we did a lot of shit together until I started getting into like street activities. He was raised by a good single parent because his mom always made sure yo she busted shit, and then she was able to get out that wheelchair, so he definitely wasn't gonna fucking act up. You heard? He was a good kid. Um, and when I started getting into street activities, me and him kind of grew apart. And then I became the kid where people, when I became a teenager, parents didn't want their kids around me because I was considered crazy because of my ADHD, and I'd have a lot of issues. Like I was on a short bus, I would I was always getting sent home for fights. I was always getting because nobody understood me because I had a really bad stutter. I'd be like and people would I would be beefing all the time. I don't. How did I get to this? I don't even know. I'm just rambling. How did I get to this? But anyways, yeah, I would stutter all the time, and I'd be getting into a lot of fights because people be like, "Blah, blah, blah." I forgot what they used to call me some shit, and I had a lot of acne too. So they would call me all these fucking names, bro, and I was already a fucking nut. You know what I'm saying? Like I was not there. So I got picked on a lot. I got bullied a lot, and then finally, you know what I'm saying? I ended up growing. I ended up getting older, and then I started becoming the dude that, because I was always fighting, I was always doing something stupid, I was always in trouble for something. I think I was misunderstood too. People didn't understand my frustrations. People didn't understand my struggle. Plus, I didn't have my father there. Didn't know what the fuck he was. Come to find out, everything after. You know what I'm saying? I'd be jealous of kids that had their father. I'd be fucking jealous, bro. I'd be looking at them because they would, take the, or even stepdads, whatever the fuck they had, somebody that was there. And that's why I ended up like straying. And, you know, they I was an easy target. Oh, yo, you smoke, Sean? What up, man? Come over here, shorty. Cause they seen I was a bad, I was a lost kid. And that's the way they did it. And then you get people that somebody, they act like they're taking you by their wing. And so what happens is, yo, you smoke, man. Come on, let's go to the store. Oh, you drink? What you drink? Word, word. Ah, yeah, I drink that. Yeah, that's what's up. Next day, same thing. Next day, same thing. Hey, yo, man, yo, why don't you go run this over there for me? And then they start to see you solid, and then it's like, yeah, and then it's before you know it, you caught up in it. Before you know it, it's like, yo, here, I need you to do this. Here, I need you to do that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that goes on within, the urban community, like where the older, mature person would kind of like use the, kids on the come up, and because, they tend to do that because, they won't get hit heavy with a crazy charge if they have them go out, do certain things for, quote unquote crews or, you know, whatever organization they're a part of. But yo, we hit the hour and 21 minute mark. I'm about to kill this live. So let me get your last words before we bounce.
All right, man. My last word is, bro, yo, that gang shit ain't worth it. Yo, just whatever you could do, man. Stay positive. There's a lot of million ways that you could earn and you could become the man. Remember, yo, right now, nerds is on top. So what you used to consider a nerd, bro, that's the vibe, bro. Stay in the book, stay learning something new. Stay true to yourself, bro. Like everybody don't gotta be a tough guy. You don't gotta be everybody you see on the internet, man. You still could be cool, and like I said, bro, like if you that crash out dude that's always out there doing some dumb shit to get attention, you gonna get that attention, but you're gonna get that negative attention, and you ain't gonna last long. If you put that same energy into bettering yourself, you gonna be on top, man. So all I'm saying is stay blessed, stay true to yourself, and not everybody's built for the streets. Don't be a tough guy. You don't gotta be a tough guy, and that's about it, man. Anything else is just corny.
Word, yo, thank you so much for pulling up, man. Yo, we definitely got to do more collabos together, man. Yo, man, we definitely gonna keep in touch. Yo, thank you so much for pulling up, fam. Appreciate
Yo,
you.
baby boy. Next time I won't talk so much, man. I'll let you get a word in. You
Nah,
heard? I
nah, man,
just,
you
I
gotta
just
talk,
blab.
man. The people want to hear you, man. Yo,
Baby boy.
all right,
Take it easy.
one. Yo, it's your boy Rush, aka Mundo, out here chasing that boil, that guacamole, that rag gold. Seek wisdom, practice humility, and always remain sucker free. You heard? I'm out. One.